My name is James Prather. I am a director of marketing for CPA.com, and I'm here today with Tracee Buethner, partner at Whitmer to discuss the firm's decision to apply and adopt .cpa as its primary domain. Welcome, Tracee.
Thank you, James. I'm glad to be here with you this morning.
Thank you so much for your time. And we're very excited to talk to you and hear about your story today. And we really appreciate you coming forward with your perspective regarding the launching and the adopting of .cpa domains. So let's get started. I want to ask you right out of the gate, Tracee, can you please share a little bit about yourself, your firm, its size, its location, and its specific focuses, please?
Yeah, thank you, James. Well, as I mentioned, I'm Tracee Buethner. I'm a partner with Whitmer. We are a local firm in Fargo, North Dakota. Yes, that Fargo, associated with the movie Fargo. We have approximately 40 full-time equivalents that work for us year-round. During busy season, we have approximately 52 people working for us, and we're approximately a $5 million firm at this moment. We have a number of various niches, but our primary niches are working with financial institutions, NPOs and governmentals, and agribusiness. And then we also do peer reviews, and just being a local firm, we tend to do a lot of other work in a number of different areas. So I'm originally from Fargo, lived in Phoenix for a while, was glad to be able to move back home. And I have a focus specifically with NPOs, which I enjoy working with, but also work with broker dealers and employee benefit plans.
Fantastic. Well, that must have been a big transition going from Phoenix to Fargo, if I'm not mistaken, or was it?
It was a little bit of a culture shock moving back.
Well, we're glad that you're where you call home. Let me ask you, how did you initially hear about .cpa domains, and what convinced you to take action to apply, please?
Well, James, that was interesting. It was probably the summer of 2019, and I was at a CPA America ANA conference, and our technology presenter mentioned that this was coming down the works. And about the same time, I was attending, or I still attend council meetings, and it started to be talked about at council meetings. And I communicated right away with our IT manager after hearing about it. And from that point forward, we were monitoring any communications from the AICPA in regards to the status. We were checking out the .cpa webpage because we knew we wanted to be a part of that change. In July in 2020, when we knew when that time frame was for the rollout was more defined, we actually met with our firm leadership group and talked about the domain change. And so as a leadership group, we picked the top 2 or 3 domain name changes we wanted to go after. And we were also all in agreement that we wanted to change our email addresses and website as soon as we could, once we were awarded our top choice in our domain name. So I have to admit, Dan, our IT manager, is the one that really has spearheaded this. And as soon as the applications were available online, I think in the first part of November 2020, we applied. Very first day we applied. We were thrilled when we were told that the WR.CPA name was awarded to Whitmer. And then I believe the domain was released to us in mid-November. By the end of November, our website was already changed to the new domain, and all of our email addresses were already converted just in that time frame.
Wow, what a fantastic journey that was, and thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you, Tracee, now we have shared in a number of communication or assets, whether it's our website and our communication, and in some of the information that you had access to, that there are 3 core value propositions that we focus in on that .cpa espouses, and one, of course, is security, Another one is trust. Another one is branding by virtue of the .cpa specific to the CPA profession. Amongst those three, what would you say would be the one that resonated with you and your firm the most?
Well, James, to be honest, the one that resonated with us to begin with was the branding. So we are in the process of moving to a new building in May, June of 2021. We're trying to get off to a fresh start. We have we've been using logos, and we plan on rolling out our new building, but the WR.CPA fits so much more cohesively with our branding. And one of our primary logos is just a WR. So we were thrilled, and so we've already started basically a soft rollout, but we look forward to in May and June really incorporating that with the move to the new building. And since that time, though, I really have come to appreciate the security that's involved and the trust that the .cpa domain provides. We have come to realize that when our third-party vendors or our clients are receiving our emails, they know it's a legit email with the .cpa. So while initially it was branding, we really have come to see the benefits of the trust and the security with adding that as well.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And, we have heard that this exclusivity to the CPA profession has been significant. The exclusivity of it does resonate well with the profession and with the industry. And we really value and appreciate you sharing that with us. Let me ask you, in terms of .cpa and having it set up and activated as your primary domain, how long have you had that set up? I know you gave it a little bit of a timeline, but in terms of the timing to from the decision to go forward with it to now, how much time would you say has it been since it's been your primary domain?
Probably since late November, we'll just say December 2020. So we're into the end of February now, so about 3 months. And we have seen a seamless change to WR.CPA. And again, that's to the prep work that we did in advance and basically had a plan going into place of what we wanted to do when we were awarded that domain. We've also been working with our outside marketing company. So we have not seen any drop off in traffic coming to our WR.CPA website. We are still in the top couple of searches on CPA firms in our area. So we haven't seen any drop off at all.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's fantastic news. Obviously, there's always apprehension to try something new and to move to a new domain or doing anything new in general, and jumped in and you were able to push through. So thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you, in terms of communication with your clients relative to this domain change, what kind of feedback have they had? Was there any challenges per se, or any perceptions that were negative, positive? Well, just share some of that with us, please.
Yeah, we really did not do communication out to our clients because our focus was more on the branding, as I mentioned earlier. But everything, we still have our old email addresses, but we rolled that out to our clients, and we have had clients notice. And we know that they're noticing because they're asking us if they need to add the .com at the end of the email address. So it seems hard for them to realize it's just WR.CPA. So we've been able to communicate with them on that. We know that they've noticed the change. It's also been a lot easier to communicate. Even by North Dakota standards, my old email address at Tracee Buethner at CPA.com was a handful. And now I can just say tbuethner@wr.cpa or Tracee@wr.cpa. It's a lot easier to communicate, especially as we've gone, to all these virtual meetings through Zoom or Teams. We did have several email platforms that didn't recognize the .cpa domain. And so some of our emails were rejected. And we found it was really simple to address that with our clients, to let them know that we have changed to this. The .cpa is a new domain. And they were able to work with their IT departments to allow those emails through. So I've only gotten several emails that have been rejected, but it's just communication with the clients. And we anticipate doing more rollouts of the communication, after we get through busy season. And I would like to add, James, too, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we also have internal communications. And that was an added benefit that we were not anticipating. So when we notified internally our staff or team members that we were changing, we found that there was a lot of excitement, especially amongst our newer employees, because they were looking at us as a firm that is willing to adapt and to make changes going into the future. And they want to work for, we're finding that generation wants to work for firms that can adapt and make changes as they go. So our staff have been super excited about the change.
That is one of the most exciting stories or aspects of going to .cpa that I have heard since working on the business. Just that whole virtue of the fact that young audiences or employees are attracted to change, and that's a value proposition that I think that it's part of it that we haven't really have taken advantage of in terms of communicating that out. So thank you for uncovering that and sharing that out. That's really, really valuable piece of information. Thank you. Let me ask you, in terms of final thoughts, what would you tell your peers, especially other small firms out there who may be on the fence about adopting and activating .cpa domains? What would you tell them? Which your story already just thus far has been fantastic. But what would you tell those individuals or firms who are on the fence thinking about it?
Oh, I would just say, first of all, just do it, get it done. What we found, there were a couple of things that benefited us. We discussed it internally with our partner group. So we have 5 partners and then a leadership team. So we discussed it internally. We had a plan and we all agreed that this is what we were going to do. And again, that was back in the summer of 2020. Then, for those small firms still out there, apply for the domain now before the one that you want may get taken. So we would recommend that you apply right away. And then if you have a plan in place, which is part of that first step, then it should be very easy to implement, with either your IT support, whether it's an internal or external support group, but you'll have a plan. And we just went all in right away with our website and emails. And it was almost seamless. And that was headed up, though, by our IT manager. We have not seen any negative impacts from the change. As I mentioned earlier, we still are getting great visits to our website and in our searches. And it's just been a wonderful opportunity. We were fortunate that we could work on that in late November and December before busy season. But again, we haven't had any significant issues. And we have found as a firm, there's no reason to wait. We've been super excited. We've been super excited with the remarks that we've been hearing from our clients and from our staff. And then most importantly, as a partner in the firm, knowing what we have upcoming with a move to a new location, a new start, now our domain is going to actually be in line with our branding and marketing.
That's fantastic. Tracee, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and your story around .cpa. domains, and it's a wonderful story. We are so excited to have you on board, and we're here to support you well beyond the activation of the domain. And we appreciate your story and coming forward with that. We think that's going to be very beneficial in sharing from your perspective how beneficial .cpas has been to you in influencing many others that are out there who are considering .cpa domain as their primary domain. Thank you so much.
James, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. And I just want to reiterate, the WR.CPA stands out, and we couldn't be more pleased to have adopted it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.